are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due. Law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port, and we have the Barnes and Tony show once again. Anthony, how are you?
Hello,
looking
man.
Very festive over there.
Oh, festive, you say?
Yeah, what shirt is that? And I have to say, I'm on camera. Wow. It's like you're wearing a green shirt.
Oh, wow, gets keyed out. It's whack. There's no green in the shirt.
You're wearing a
Damn it, dude.
You're wearing an Oklahoma City Thunder shirt.
I know, it looks like it. Oh, it sucks.
I mean, you got to have a sweatshirt lying around or something. We could just do a quick swap
I
out.
got Renee's LBI hoodie over there. I don't know if that's going to fit me, though.
I mean, do you want me to give you a toss?
Yeah, give me a toss, dude. Anyway, I'll tell the people at home about my shirt, which is blue, by the way.
All I have to say is, by the way, I would.
Oh, dude. Oh, all right.
Wait, so that's Long Beach Island?
It's an LBI hoodie, which Renee and I are frequenters of.
Okay.
Renee's going there next week, I think, or second week of July.
All right, that's her
or
family
the
trip, right?
third, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this Stay Cool shirt, very special, as you're probably not going to see it again. I'm going to break this hoodie.
I mean, at least, Renee could just get another one.
Oh, yeah, she's going right there, dude.
Wow, I have to say, I'm impressed that you're able to get into that.
Jack?
I mean, honestly, kind of, dude. That's like a nice, you just got back from the gym.
I go to the beach gym and LBI, pump some iron.
Dude.
Arnold.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Stay Cool t-shirt, we went to the pop-up store yesterday in the city because we were promoting the Minds Festival, which is the Saturday Beacon Theater, 7:30. Going to be a great festival. But Stay Cool did a pop-up store. They do that. It's the second year in a row once they've done it.
Okay.
We went there. We met the owner, Min, who's this really cool dude. And it's funny because he actually recognized, because we were in downtime stuff, he recognized downtime because we've tagged him in whatever we were doing when I was wearing Stay Cool stuff, which is pretty funny. Invited him on The Dream is Free, super chill. But then I had this shirt that apparently is his shirt. He's like, he wore it once and was like, let's slap a Stay Cool logo on it and sell it. And it was just like, he was saying how even one of the workers was like, oh, dude, I thought this shirt would be the first one to go today. And here you are, kind of on the tail end of us about to close, and you bought this shirt. It was pretty dope. So I got this sweet 1 of 1 shirt, and I'm pretty excited about it, Brian.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now I know I can't wear it on any podcast because it keys out.
I might develop something. Some type of camera where, you know what I mean? I can sit here, wear my Masters shirt,
right?
And there's no problem. I'm just saying, I'm gonna think about something. I think we can come up with something.
I think we can. We're smart people.
Yeah,
we're educated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So much to get into to catch up from the last couple of days, but obviously today the NBA draft at the Barclays Center, and I will be there in person. So a lot to talk about. Let's start right there. So let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer.
Said word ain't never told no lie. The best soundbite.
I love that.
Behind Mariano Rivera, obviously.
Oh.
But so much really kind of swirling around here in terms of the NBA. Obviously, the draft tonight, and then some non-draft topics. One big one being Kyrie Irving. He's pushing for this max extension. He has a player option for this coming season, and there's a lot of stuff saying, if he doesn't eat, he's at odds with them. And if he doesn't get the max, he's going to want to go somewhere else. And then people are throwing around the Lakers as a possibility, which, it's a tough thing for me. While I recognize the talent with him, I just feel like there's just no possible way that any team with a goal of winning a championship can bring him into the fold. And it has nothing to do with other than him just not having the drive to do whatever it takes to win. And it doesn't have anything else to do with that. It's just that he does not care enough.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem. It's all about him, and it's never about the team.
Do you think that if he does go somewhere else, change of scenery, gets the max contract, he'll be more inclined to, not skip out on whatever?
Not even. It's funny because, LeBron's always been good at, reeling people in. And I'm sure right now, even because especially the way last season went and with LeBron, his future a little uncertain in terms of, is he finishing out with the Lakers? Do they have enough to win a title this year after a disaster of a season last year? How are they going to rebuild the roster? What are they going to do with Russell Westbrook? So I do think that LeBron would sign off by it, but I just feel like and tell me I'm wrong, Tony, but I feel like by mid-season, all hell will break loose. Like Kyrie can just play 82 games and just compete. It always has to be about something else. I mean, am I wrong? Like, I don't know. I just feel like after what he did, a couple of years ago with the whole birthday party situation, and like, I got more important things right now. And it's like, you can do that, but just retire. Don't like hold teams hostage. And I feel like he has no perspective when it comes to that.
Yeah, it seems like it. But I mean, you really think that there's no chance? There's no chance for him at all?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think a team picks him up?
Desperation, yeah. And that's why it's like, I think, though, too, that the problem is, we've seen the Nets. They're very hamstrung because this whole experiment has been the utmost disaster. I mean, they've done absolutely nothing. They've paid out millions upon millions. They go out and get Harden. They extend Durant. You obviously pay a lot of money to Kyrie. And it's like they never all played together. They bring in Simmons. He's not playing. They got swept in the playoffs last year. I mean, this could not have went any worse from the day that they announced that they were signing both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. They have no future to look forward to if they don't have those players on the team. So it's just like, I mean, what are they supposed to do? And I think they're nervous that if they keep playing hardball with Kyrie, if Kyrie goes elsewhere, they trade him, or he opts in, then they trade him, that Durant's going to say he wants to leave. So, I mean, they're in a very precarious situation. So that's why I think they end up, giving in
to Kyrie
and maybe a max on a shorter term, or it's such a messy situation, but they can't lose Kevin Durant. I mean, they're screwed. They don't have draft picks. I mean, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, they don't have any draft picks, huh? Do they just dump them and take this season off?
I mean, I don't think they could do that.
No.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think that they end up giving in and just paying him?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I feel like with Kyrie gone, though, I feel like Durant still wouldn't. I feel like he wouldn't want to leave.
That's what they're alluding to. But
worried
it's just
about.
Like a healthy Ben Simmons. You have some other role players on the team. He would be fine. But it's just more about how, as he calls him, Kai is his boy. You know what I mean? And he just
they're buddy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but you're gonna tell me like Durant isn't pissed off at him for the way he's been acting with the team and everything? Like,
you would think that, but all indications say no.
That's ridiculous.
But I just think Kyrie, I just think he should just retire, honestly, because you can't be half in and be a professional athlete. Like imagine an NFL player being half in. I mean, they would literally get killed on the field.
Yeah, no, it's true. All right, let's say they get rid of Kyrie. They don't give Kyrie anything. He goes somewhere else. Durant, what's his contract like?
I think he just signed an extension like last year, so he's got a few years.
Can
left.
He be traded?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anybody would trade for him.
Right. So, I mean, I feel like if you dump Kyrie, Durant maybe will want the trade. You can get a lot of good guys for Durant, and then you can kind of start rebuilding a little bit around some of the players you have. But, I mean, it's still tough because, like, I mean, I don't know how reliable is Ben Simmons at this point to be anything.
I just think Joseph Tsai, the owner over there, I mean, he's livid right now.
I would be too.
He's not trying to rebuild. So
Really?
I think that's my prediction. I don't think Kyrie's gonna go to the Lakers, but
I think he's gonna get rid of them all, dude.
Yeah,
because it's just bad like energy, like bad attitudes. Obviously, not great level of basketball being played, and it's like how long are you gonna keep this charade up? You know?
Right.
Like honestly,
and I mean, if you had to put a number on it, what would you say the odds are of Kyrie? You know, let's say he re-signs his deal or whatever, comes back, him going through the whole season, no controversy. What percent would you say?
No controversy?
Yeah.
Maybe like 25%.
I mean, that's a problem.
I know.
Paying a guy like, $40-something million.
And I know it's a real big problem, especially like, you know, I mean, you don't know what's going to be happening around the world, right? Like with this whole, like, obviously this season was his vaccine issue and everything like that. So, and then the birthday party, the sage, the dude.
Well, and the thing is, like, I feel like it has nothing to even do with the vaccine. You know what I mean? That was just some incident, but like, regardless of how anybody feels about that, it's way deeper than that. He just like winning just isn't important to him, and that's the biggest problem. It has nothing to do with anything other than that.
But why? Like, why isn't he competitive?
I think he's honestly too ripped. I swear to
really?
God. Yeah.
At what point did he go off the deep end? Like
after the Cavs title, because he didn't like that LeBron got more credit than him, even though he made the shot, and then he just went completely off the rails.
Jesus.
But
do you think he has any like? There's any stock in his type of, I guess, perspective?
Like meaning like
is anything backing his actions? Anything backing him up at all? Or you think it's all just unwarranted craziness?
I mean, it's all unwarranted craziness. I mean, he has the life of Riley.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like he's just blowing it. So
that sucks, dude.
I guess we'll see what happens in that regard. And then really other than that, just in terms of the draft, it's funny. We were talking earlier, for a while now, Jabari Smith, the power forward from Auburn, has been the consensus number one pick going to the Orlando Magic. But on 98.7 today and some other, I think actually on the Fan as well, they were talking about how now all of a sudden Orlando is pivoting towards Paolo Banchero, the power forward from Duke. But then I just saw something that's saying they're still expecting Smith 1, Chet Holmgren, the freak from Gonzaga, 7 foot, the blocks, the dunks, but only 195, going second to OKC, and then Banchero third to Houston. So there's a lot of questions out there. You have a team like the New York Knicks who are desperate to have a big name, make a big splash. They're sitting here at 11. Right now, NBADraft.net has them taking AJ Griffin, the small forward from Duke. But I think they're really looking to make a bigger splash than that. A lot of talk about Jaden Ivey at 4. And they were talking about this on, Dave too. They're like, you want Ivey. I mean, and then you want to get Miles Turner or something. It's like, what assets do you have to do that? It's I think it's one or the other. But if I were them,
the Knicks,
yeah. I would definitely just trade maybe 3 first-rounders, one being this year, and get Ivy. You know what I mean? You need a point guard. When was the last time they had a point guard? Chauncey Billups? It was not even, he was more of a shooter. So I just think you can't win in the NBA without a point guard.
Right. Why the change for Orlando?
I think if I had to guess, I think it's smoke to entice Houston to move up because I think Houston has been comfortable with Banchero.
Right. So do you think they really draft that guy or no? You think it's all just
I just feel like it's like, this is on ESPN.com.
Right.
As teams finalize their boards ahead of Thursday night's draft, sources have told, Woj that the order at the top 3 is increasingly firm. Smith, Holmgren, and Banchero. And this was, from 9:22 this morning, which is after, Dave and the fellas. So that's what I think. I mean, Roto World too. I mean, they're not reporting anything else as well. I think we'll get some more clarity on this, as we get closer to the draft. But a lot of questions to be answered. And it's weird. I feel like the NBA draft versus any other sport, hockey, football, baseball, is so like there's just so many questions just in terms of like talent coming in and being a star right away. Like
Right.
you don't even the number one pick. There's not an increased amount of confidence that guy's going to be a star, that guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I feel like, with football, for instance, a quarterback, oh, this is the next, Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's always throwing that stuff out there, but there's so many questions as far as basketball players are concerned.
That's just generally or this year, like this year's
really,
class?
I mean, I can't even think back to, it seems like it's been the last 3 or 4 years, really.
Yeah.
I mean, who's come in and lit the world on fire? Number one overall pick. It's been kind of.
I know. I mean, I would say Zion was probably touted to be like that,
right? But then
obviously not.
So
not yet anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of just how I see it. And other than the picks as well, there's some talk about maybe DeAndre Ayton, getting traded because Phoenix doesn't want to sign him to an extension.
Mhm.
It looks like they're also looking to trade Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, I think that would be a perfect guy for the Knicks. Good. He's been on winning teams before. He's a 3-and-D guy. They have Cam Johnson who's looking for a bigger role next year. So I could see that getting done. I mean, they're talking about the Pistons bringing in Ayton. They just traded for Jeremy Grant, or they just traded away Jeremy Grant to the Blazers to team him with Dame. So, I just think, DeAndre Ayton, you tell him he's going to Detroit.
Mhm.
That's like Blake Griffin going to Detroit. It's crazy. I mean, ever since that Rip City run,
Yeah,
they've been laughing stock of the league. Like,
I know, it's a shame. Cubs.
So a lot of questions to be answered. And I mentioned the Lakers. They're desperately trying to trade Russell Westbrook, but I think it's $47 million. What's your prediction there, Tony? I mean, do you think that they're just handcuffed and he ends up coming back, or do you think that they figure something out, but it kind of hurts them going forward because they have to give up assets just to get rid of him?
I think that he sticks with LA.
Yeah, and then but like waived by midseason.
I guess I could see him honestly maybe getting it together this season.
But getting it together in your eyes, what does he do, in order to do so?
Well, he uses his body and athleticism to just like drive through the lane constantly, consistently,
and like literally just
like
gives up the 3-point shot. Like
no
Simmons.
no threes at all, dude.
Yeah,
be like, hey, yeah, turns out I'm a lefty and I've been shooting right. I'm not going to shoot threes.
And do you think that there's any chance, because he seems very strong-headed, almost like Kyrie, but not crazy. But do you think there's any part of him from last season that was humbled, that just saw how the team was just destroyed and that his head down, just full speed ahead just doesn't work?
Humbled? I don't know. It's a big word, I feel like, for NBA players. But, he definitely was disappointed. You saw him in some post-game conferences where he's just like, obviously, like upset with himself over how he's been playing. And that was pretty clear to how he was acting and talking to reporters and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like he has much. Like, for him to be humbled, I feel like someone would have to be able to sit down and talk with him, and he would be pretty receptive. I feel like he's not receptive to changing up his game, and obviously that's the biggest issue because his game isn't really working. But what's LeBron doing? Like, be a leader, sit him down, and be like, dude, you're not don't take a 3-pointer, drive to the lane.
I'm sure he does that to an extent. I think the problem is that he has a relationship with him outside of basketball.
LeBron.
Just because of all the times, playing on the All-Star team,
right,
playing on the Olympic team.
So the two buddy, you mean?
Yeah, like he's not going to go after them like he would, someone else that he doesn't have a prior relationship with. I think that's what it is. But then also, there has to be a part of LeBron, this year, he's going to turn 38 in December, that he's just like, I can't waste time anymore. Like, right. I got to just throw it all out there. And I'm sure, too, at some point last year, like some stuff had to have been said.
Yeah.
And then, it's David. It's just as much on Davis as well to be healthy and to really put a full commitment because, not quite Kyrie, but just from a conditioning standpoint, it just doesn't seem like he trains hard.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's pretty, I don't know about typical, but like bigger, like those big men, I feel like you can tell that they just don't run as hard, like end to end, you know?
But the thing is, what if you said that to Jokic and his brothers? What do you think they would say?
I don't know.
There's exceptions.
Right now,
I'm
they'd
just
be a
kidding.
little too drunk to even comprehend what I'm saying. But sometimes, I mean, Jokic looked better this season, but like he was in better shape, I would say. But there's still times you can see that he's tired, he's dogged it a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
you
think
know.
it's just bigger body.
Yeah, oh
wears
yeah,
on
it's
the
a lot
body
more weight
more,
to be
you
tossing
get-
around and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. But Jokic is good for just Yas number 3 when he's kind of, just jogging back nice and easy. So, but yeah, I don't know. Well, does LA have any like young guys they could just like use?
Horton Tucker was so bad last year.
Oh.
He was supposed to be that type of guy. I mean, Austin Reeves, but nobody that has any
Right.
type of value.
So like Westbrook, AD, like they're not feeling any pressure from like the bench to be like, oh, if I'm not doing well, I'm getting taken out. But this guy being put in and potentially taking my spot. Well, that's another big issue. Where's the competitiveness? Like, how is Westbrook going to want to have any type of inclination to kind of, improve on his game when he knows, like, hey, if I just start taking threes and eventually comes around, like, I'm going to be loved over here, and there's nothing they can really do if I'm not doing well,
Yeah.
Especially if LeBron isn't on his case. Like, what type of pressure is he feeling as a person to perform better, other than the fact that they've been losing? But like,
Right.
what?
Right.
Like, is the coach sitting him down? Like, what are we doing?
But push comes to shove, you taking out your crystal ball here, Tony. I feel like you're saying that you're seeing that they're gonna keep obviously that big 3 intact, and they're gonna just try to just bring in some younger, more productive players to surround them with, and kind of just try to basically running it back with the main guys and just hoping for better results.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the season, their season was pretty poor, but I mean, I feel like, the times that AD was out, even LeBron was in and out sometimes too. Like, if you have all those players, consistently being in the game, like your greatest, what's the saying? Your greatest ability is availability.
Right.
That's something
Right.
they didn't have, I feel like, last season. So if they have that, if they're healthy, then yeah, I think running it back would be a good idea. But I mean, that's their biggest question. That was the biggest question last season too, So you're gonna try. I do think they're gonna try and double down because with a healthy Lakers, I think they can do some damage. And like you said, a couple younger guys maybe that they can kind of put around LeBron and AD and Westbrook. I think it could bode pretty well.
So let's say they do that. We don't know who specifically. Do you think they end up being top 4 in the West?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right on the cusp, like 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I know LeBron doesn't want to waste a season, but I have to say, me, myself, it has nothing to do with his ability, but
Yeah.
you just see this, like what happened with Kobe and stuff. Very hard to be in your late 30s. And for whatever reason, the teams just don't do a good job of putting those players in position to win. Like other than like Dirk, towards the end of his career, like you see them usually in the lottery, those teams with those aging stars.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's because those guys are making a lot of money and maybe not having the same impact.
Yeah.
But that being said, Tony, it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens at the top of the draft, and being the basketball aficionado that you are, I'm just kind of curious. Everybody in the draft, and there's 60 selections tonight. Do you have one guy that you feel like has a good shot to be an absolute star? If you had to give me one
off
name,
off the rip, like enters the league, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, not really. I mean, I can look, but I mean, just from what I've been hearing from you were saying even today, I mean, who even would that be? No, I
have a name, but I kind of want you to go first.
Oh God, just say your name, Brian.
Are you going to give me something out there?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you something.
Just seeing, from his tape at Purdue and the impact that guards have, I think Jaden Ivey. I think it's very easy to be a big man, be skilled, but have no impact on winning or losing. But specifically in New York, if somehow the Knicks are able to finagle getting up to that 4th spot, I think Jaden Ivey will be an instant star, all-star game, and rookie of the year, and then within a couple of years, league MVP. Mark my words. And I know that Michael is hoping for the same. And we do have some comments, I believe.
Purdue, you said?
Yes, point guard. Good morning, fellas.
For my mom.
How are
you? Purdue?
Not usually, full of talent, but this guy specifically, Tony, it's not about the school. It's about the talent. It's about the player. It's about the drive.
How did Purdue do in the
I actually feel like they're
didn't they do pretty well?
No. I think their coach got fired, actually.
Really?
Matt Painter.
Purdue is the
he's currently he didn't get fired. Never mind. Okay, so let's see. So last season, Sweet 16.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What are they, like the Engineers? What's their mascot?
Boiler Makers.
Boiler Makers.
Isn't that some type of like shot or drink or something? A Boiler Maker?
I don't know, dude. What do I look like over here? All right, so I guess if I had to choose one, Brian, just looking at some of the players that I've looked at, Keegan Murray. Iowa. Slated to be taken by Detroit.
So his career's gonna go to shit as soon as he gets
No. I feel like we just talked about
dude.
Exactly. We were just talking about Detroit and what they could be doing this season, and with Murray, I feel like he'll get a lot of PT, get a lot of good looks. I mean, I think if he comes in hot, he can make a really significant splash for the Detroit Pistons, and maybe start to turn that team around.
All right.
Think about it, dude.
Iowa. It'll be interesting. And then really just to wrap up, the draft talk here. I guess my first question to you is, do the Knicks make the move to go up to 4 to get Ivy?
I mean, what are we giving up though?
This year's first and two other. And maybe Obi Toppin.
Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Desperation.
I mean, yes, yeah. I mean, they're so like we want to win right now type of attitude, and they have to make some type of change. So yeah.
And then, are you going chalk with the top 4 selections in terms of Smith to Orlando, Holmgren to OKC, Banchero to Houston, and then Ivy 4th, potentially to the Knicks there? But do you feel like it's set in stone with that 4? Or
that's the new, as of this morning,
right after Dave?
Yeah,
because he was talking about Banchero.
Yeah, chalk it up.
Yeah, because
and
it makes so much sense too. Literally, I heard too the betting line they were saying went to -200 for Banchero, so we could have gotten plus odds with Smith there. But I just think you don't hear something for so long, and then at the last second there's a change of heart. That was definitely to entice, and a smart move by them, because you think about a few years back, you had the Boston Celtics with the number 1 pick. And they enticed, even though they had no interest in taking Markelle Fultz, they enticed the Philadelphia 76ers to trade from 3 to 1. They let him take Fultz. Jason Tatum comes to the bean. So
wow. Pretty good move, dude.
Yeah. So sometimes you got to do that stuff. But getting underway, 7:30 ESPN.
You're gonna be there
from the Barclays Center.
From Brian.
I will give you what I have. And I'm not expecting the Lakers to jump into this draft. I mean, I guess technically they might buy a 2nd-round pick. We've seen them do that before, and actually they did that actually for THT, and worked out good the first year, but not obviously last year. So be interesting. And I just realized too, I hate how the NBA does this. So I guess for some tampering, they took away Milwaukee and Miami's 2nd-round pick, 54 and 55. So that means that 2 less players get drafted. And I know that they can get signed to contracts after the draft, but I don't know. I just feel like obviously your biggest opportunity is going to be drafted and assigned to an organization right away than the uncertainty of undrafted free agency.
Mm-hmm.
But
can players still, when they're drafted, like decide not to sign?
So it's very like with like the whole like agent and
Right.
stuff. So I think it's like an appeals process. But now with the NIL, I think they're able to somewhat do that. And then one thing that I know Mike would be around for this too. I'm just looking at this. Isaiah Mobley, the brother of obviously Evan Mobley, they played together at USC. He's projected to go 58. And while not as talented, hard to argue at 58. You might not want to take a flyer on him, and they have the Cavs actually taking him. So I think that would be a good pick. Or also, maybe the Lakers want to take a stab. We will see what happens. But like I said, 7:30 from the Barclays Center, ESPN, and and I just wanted to kind of go back to this, Tony, before we move on here. A Boilermaker can refer to two types of beer cocktail. In American terminology, the drink consists of a glass of beer mixed with a shot of whiskey.
No kidding.
You learn something new every day.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, sounds tasty.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Sure.
But you know what else sounds tasty? The world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray. There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy Young. Nada, where did that land? Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right. And you could say ×2 yesterday as the Yankees take the series from the Rays and defeat them 5-4 in a very exciting back and forth game and a game that we've seen from the Yankees a lot this season where they fall behind early, but they continue to battle back. And this was actually, and we'll stat check this, but it's funny. I think, Tony, the last episode we had, I said that Jordan Montgomery had never given up more than 3 runs in his career. What do you know? Last night, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So
you blew it, dude.
So he goes over that. And then Nestor the day before struggled. So we're seeing these pitchers, kind of go through a humane period, but that's expected. You can't be lights out every season. Not everybody's on the ball like Renee every day and just consistently excellent. It's just not realistic, right?
No, yeah.
But
excuses.
With that being said, the bullpen after those 6 innings from Montgomery was able to hold it down in the form of Schmidt, King, and Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the offense, I did mention Aaron Judge, 2 home runs. So actually, arbitration hearing tomorrow.
Dude, what are we thinking tomorrow?
I think actually, because technically, legally speaking, if they go into this, if the Yankees at the 11th hour don't pull out, I think that he's going to end up getting 17 just because of the injuries, because they can't talk about this year. The great season last year, great season the rookie year, those years in between, something with data. But it's unbelievable that they're risking their relationship by doing this. But I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but I still can't believe they haven't just stood down.
Right. Do you think that they're like, obviously, they talked about it on Dave too. The arbitrator's role is to pretty much talk about like why he deserves less money, essentially.
Right.
But how do you not like if I'm Aaron Judge, I'm like giving them a look, but it's like, yeah, but like look at what I'm doing right now.
Well, and it's basically because they're being cheap and this year's budget,
which is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It really is insane.
That's why Hal's got to go. But
do you think that this creates bad blood?
How could it not create something?
I know.
But
there's friction.
I think, though, you know what it is? And tell me I'm wrong about this, Tony.
You're wrong.
I think he values his relationship with his teammates, with his coaches, way more than he values the ownership and the front office of the New York Yankees. So that will always be the priority.
Well, obviously, he doesn't really – I wouldn't think he values much the front office.
But I'm saying he's willing to be like, listen, I want to be with these guys. I want to go to battle with these guys every day.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be willing to come down in his price.
Oh, he's not going to be willing to come down in his price. But I'm saying I think they're gonna get close enough where he's going to go because he wants to be.
Yeah, but close enough. It's like a $4 million difference, isn't it?
Well, that was per season, but basically, I think what it was is they wanted to do like 8 for 217.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this with a couple of my friends that are Yankee fans in a group chat this morning. I think it's going to be somewhere near, could be a little more, could be a little less. 8 years, 300 million. I think that's what he wants. And I think, initially, sure, he did want 10, but I think he'll settle for 8. If they throw him 300 million, they'll be fine. And I know, you're going to go devil's advocate on me. And even ESPN.com, I almost sent it to you, had a picture of him wearing a Red Sox Mets uniform. But listen.
Dude, they're saying, too, that the Giants would be a good spot for him, too.
From California. Linden, California, Tony. But
right outside San Francisco.
Riddle me not. I don't give a fuck.
Riddle me not. Riddle me not.
There's just no shot. No one can say anything in my mind, Tony, to tell me that he's not re-signing with them. But obviously, tons of time in between now and then.
Tons of time.
And the Yankees, really just have an opportunity of a lifetime here to bring a 28th championship to New York City.
They're gonna blow it, dude. What if they blow it?
But back to the game last night.
What do you think the chances
you
are?
could just 0. But anyway,
honestly though,
zero.
You can tell me unbiased opinion.
0, unbiased 0. But anyway,
God, dude.
So what happened? Montgomery last night, victim of the long ball, giving up 2 home runs in the second inning to Paredes and Brujan, totaling 3 runs. So they're down 3-0 after 2. But Judge answers in the 4th with a home run to the left, a solo shot. But they do get an RBI ground out in the 4th to make it 4-1. But from that point on, all the Yankees, as there was a throwing error allowing Giancarlo Stanton to score in the 6th. Judge homers again in the 7th, and then my guy. Really just, these are the type of stories you just love. The unheralded guy, the guy that's been around a while, that has never had tons of success, especially at the plate. Jose Trevino, Tony, again with a big hit. I was there obviously earlier in the season for his walk-off home run, but top of the 8th inning, hits a 2-run homer to take a 5-4 lead, a bomb to left field, 406 over that high wall. And the Yankees take a 5-4 lead, don't look back, and they get the money combination of Michael King and Clay Holmes to close it out. 51st win of the season, 51 up, 18 down. Your first place team in the American League, your first place team in the major leagues, your New York Yankees. Nothing to poo-poo about that. Give me something. Give me something to combat that, Tony. Win another series. Still haven't lost in Chicago.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good, especially against Tampa Bay. Taking 2 out of 3. That's what they need to be doing.
On the road. A place where they've struggled in past seasons.
That shitty stadium.
12,000 fans last night. Really? They don't have the upper bowl open.
Oh.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay people to work there.
Oh.
Yep. Because they don't get enough fans. But
12,000?
12,000.
I bet you 7 of them were Yankees.
I want to say 9,500.
9, you think
also known as 9.5?
9.5.
But 12-game lead over Toronto, 12.5 over Boston, 14 games over the Rays, 20.5 over the Orioles.
What's wrong with the Rays, dude?
They're not hitting.
They're not hitting.
And they don't have the fielding. They were always very buttoned up in terms of fielding. Got nothing. They traded away Austin Meadows too. I don't think he's really doing anything in Detroit, but he was one of the really their prime hitters. And then I know I've mentioned him many times, but Rosa Reina has not been the same player this year.
Yeah, it sucks.
So I think it's a combination of those things. But would we really be surprised if at the end of the year they end up with 90 wins somehow?
Yeah. No, I would not be surprised. Yes.
So I could easily see that happening. I think Boston, has been hot for a couple of months. Obviously, still 12.5 back here. But I think they're going to tail off. I don't think they have the pitching, and the offense is finicky. So I think it's just really going to come down if Toronto can go on a stretch where they go 25-5 or something and even that will probably not be enough.
Right. Yeah. What are you going to do, dude?
But we didn't get to talk about it too. Just before we get to the Mets, Clay Holmes, the scoreless streak. Of course, the game after we talk about it, blows it the other night. They ended up still winning the game. Wandy Peralta closing out the first game of the series, but back to business. I was a little nervous that would start like a Aroldis Chapman tailspin, but no way.
It's nice when you have a good head for it, you know? Like he's clearly set for that role, you know?
But I mean, I know I talk about it too much, Tony, but have you ever seen like a bigger transformation as far as a reliever than him?
I guess not, right? No one comes to mind.
I mean, literally from can't even be on a major league roster to best reliever in the American League.
It's crazy.
And you feel like the majority of the credit is, or I guess really divided between him and Matt Blake. I mean,
yeah,
but I'm sure, some of the other, was it him? Or I'm trying to think if was it Corey Kluber though with the sinker too? I think we were talking about
that. Yeah. You're right.
Who, ironically enough, is on the Rays now, but I'm so glad that Chapman's still not back though, because we can just put off that conversation.
It's gonna come to you though.
I want to turn to New York Mets.
I don't think we really take him.
I mean, you think the bullpen can't use him?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess we could. Bullpen wasn't looking too good.
But they could trade him anywhere. It's funny. As much as we rag on him, teams will, especially near the deadline, will clamor for him to get in playoff position.
I think so too.
Commodity,
which is good for the Yankees.
Do you think they do it though?
Yeah.
Because you think he's barking behind the scenes about
I don't think there's any other role for him other than a closer for the Yankees. He just doesn't want it, you know?
Yeah.
So just get rid of him while you still can, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, Loizaga will be back. Clark Smith, Michael King, Lucas Licky. They got some arms in the bullpen, so I feel good about that. Michael King, I mean, comeback player of the year.
A bigger turnaround, dude. Come on.
Holmes.
Yeah. Michael King was worse though.
Last question though. It's a two-part question, but I promise Mets breakdown after.
Nah, it's fine, dude.
I want you to give me the ERAs respectively for King and Holmes coming the end of the season.
What's King's at now?
So King's, I believe, is like maybe 2.4.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up the box score here, and then Holmes is like 0.5.
0.5, yeah. I'll give Clay Holmes like a 1.01 at the end of the year,
which is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And then Michael King, I want to say he hovers around the same.
So around
2.4. What he's at now?
2.4. Wait, I'm sorry. You said Holmes is a 1.01. 1.01. Wow. Yeah. So 0.53. King 2.35. Yeah. So that'll be interesting, and I'll get to it in a second. But big series, home 4-game series against the Houston Astros. So the Bronx faithful is going to be riled up for that. But before we talk about that, Tony, what happened against the Astros?
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of the Astros, so over the weekend, the Mets played 2 games in Houston, and they lost both games. First game was like 8-2, I think. Yesterday was 5-3. And the first game, I think Urquidy was pitching for the Astros. He pitched like a really good.
It's funny. I think he sucks.
He does suck. He pitched 6 innings. I think maybe 1 earned run or 1 hit, no earned runs, something like that. 5 Ks. He had a pretty good line. And then it also seems like, I think these past 2 games, I mean, you have to, again, tip your hat to the Astros because they had some good starting pitching. They had some great bullpen work, too. And I'll get to their bullpen. But in terms on the Mets side, I mean, they just were not able to really get much going offensively. For the first game, I think they were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They didn't score, I think, until the 6th inning. And I think it was like a home run by Alonso and a home run by Escobar. So they really didn't do a great job of what they normally do, which is hit well and get men on base and then bring them in. And then on top of that, Trevor Williams started on Saturday. He didn't have a terrible line, but I think he went like 4 innings, I think.
3 earned or something?
Yeah, I think 4 innings, 3 or maybe 2 earned, something like that. And then the bullpen didn't really come in. I think Shreve came in. Adonis Medina came in. He got called up, and I don't know. He just doesn't really have great stuff. And then again, on top of that, I mean, just our offense was just nowhere to be found. Like I said, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. If you convert on those, it's a tie game, just like that, And maybe Trevor Williams had a little bit of a better start. You could have been in a better position to make a comeback, I suppose. And then yesterday, Cookie Carrasco got absolutely torched. I think went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs the first inning, ended up leaving the game with back tightness. Which is just stupid. Like, what are you doing? Like, I understand. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, you haven't been pitching. It's not like he's been, it's not like his pitch count for his last few innings were like into the 100s.
Right.
Like, you're not really pitching that much. Back tightness. I understand. Maybe you're, using the off-speed pitches more. Maybe you're kind of moving a little bit differently than you have in the past. But I mean, I don't know. And then I don't know. It seems like that his back tightness was an issue to start.
So it's like he never should have taken the mound.
So it's like, yeah, dude. And it's like, if you're not feeling 100%, don't go up there, especially with the way you pitch. I mean, if you're not 100%, the Astros have some pretty talented hitters. I think Yordan Alvarez had 3 home runs in the past 2 games.
Alvarez is unbelievable.
Unbelievable, dude. And he was off of a hand injury, too. He almost didn't even start. Like, Dusty Baker was thinking about sitting him, and he wanted to start. And he started him. It's 3 home runs against the Mets. Unbelievable. Like, he's doing phenomenally well. And when you're going against good hitters, I think Altuve homered as well, and you're not 100%, like, tell Buck. Be like, no, I don't think it's smart. Instead, you want to give up 4 runs, in the first inning, and then set us up for a colossal failure. Like, dude, like, I don't know yourself better.
And this is why you've been tight. I mean, really, since last year, when
yeah,
you came on board.
I know. Definitely, he's been so inconsistent. He hasn't been anything we expect him to be, and it sucks, dude. And the Astros had, I think, their bullpen yesterday. They used 4 bullpen guys. I think they combined for 2 hits and 6 Ks. I think the bullpen came in hot yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And I mean, abbreviated series. And I think, is it the beginning of next week they play Houston again?
Well, I know they do. They have Padres, and they do LA,
and then probably Houston.
And then Houston.
Okay,
yeah. So maybe middle of next week.
So with that stretch, and obviously with what you saw the last couple of days, I mean, any level of concern for you with the Mets right now? I mean, I know obviously Scherzer had the rehab start and may start Saturday, but I mean, are you nervous at all
about the pitching with Carrasco being hurt?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. I'm definitely a little worried because we really can't handle any more injuries with our starting pitchers. But with Scherzer coming back and with DeGrom to follow shortly, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel here. So
Trevor Cahill, any word from the minors at Syracuse, AAA?
Yeah.
Any word on him? Or?
No. You think it's funny?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. When was the last time that guy pitched?
Honestly, dude. But yeah, I think DeGrom would be a little bit more of a question mark, obviously, for his return. But to get Scherzer back, I think it's going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. And I know I don't know what exactly the time difference was, but I know he beat the timeline pretty good from the initial injury because it was an oblique, right?
Yeah, he beat it by 2 weeks.
I mean, those are tough to shake.
After Max.
So I guess Cahill between AAA and rookie ball. I don't know. I don't see an article that they cut him, but 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs.
Oh,
that's between 2 outings. But I mean, you weren't really expecting him to get into the mix anyway. So.
No, not really.
So maybe they explore a trade route. We'll see. Now, are the Mets in action today, or they have off day?
Friday, they're back up.
Okay, and that's going to be with the Padres.
No, actually it's Miami first. Yeah,
Miami. Miami. Okay, and that's at home or
in Miami.
Okay. So you have to pivot away from the Mets, but and just to give an update too, Monday's games both went 2-1. Did you see how the Pirates shellacked Caleb Killian?
Yeah, dude.
You got me. I don't know what you want me to say.
Oh,
that was crazy.
I know that was crazy from the Pirates too. Who would have thought? I thought.
So we're both sitting 16-11. Still got a little time here before the Sakura pick segment coincides. No, that wasn't the right word.
Subsides. Yeah. Sure.
But anyway, So let's pick a few for tonight. Do we have enough for 4? Is it 3?
3, 6, 7. Wait, hold on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. We had 10 games tonight.
Yeah. So let's go 4s. What do you got?
All right, we'll go 4s. I guess I'll pick a nice, easy one for my first one. LA is going to be in Cincinnati tonight. Unequivocally, I mean, Clayton Kershaw pitching well, dude. He's
back.
Touching a 2 ERA right now. It's 2.08 ERA. And I mean, there's really not a lot to say, obviously. I know we talked about the Dodgers, not hitting nearly as well as they should. But I feel like tonight is going to be one of those one-off games that maybe perhaps start like a snowball effect for their hitters to kind of get some confidence and some good looks at the plate, especially with Hunter Green on the mound for Cincinnati. He's above a 5 ERA right now. So I would say giving the Dodgers in a shellacking 8-2.
I'm looking at a revenge spot here. And another Cubs pitcher, but this one, Justin Steele, getting the start today against the Pirates here, in Pittsburgh. Actually, first pitch scheduled for 12:35. And he's pitched pretty well. If you look at his game logs here, his last 4 starts, he's given up 3 runs or less, including 2 runs or less his last 3 starts and 7 innings, 2 out of those 3 times against Atlanta, San Diego, and St. Louis, and Milwaukee the time before. So he's had some good outings, and he's recovered since that May 26, 2 innings, 7 earned game against Cincinnati of all teams. But I think he sets the tone here today. Give him another 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 earned. Cubs, 5-3.
Wow, let's do it. All right, I'm going to stay on the West Coast. The Padres are playing the Phillies. Phillies they lost 2 to the Rangers. They lost to the Nationals as well, like 9-3 too. So I think maybe the manager change is kind of maybe the juice is kind of getting squeezed out here by now, because they really haven't been playing well the past few games. And then on top of that, you got Musgrove on the mound for the Padres, who's 8-0, under 2 ERA. I think over 79 innings pitched. He has like 82 strikeouts, only given up like 6 home runs, I think, this season. He's been absolutely lights out. And honestly, you got to love that because, I think Joe Musgrove, came over from Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh.
Another guy they let go.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to love that, especially for, he's playing, so well for the Padres. And I want to say Machado has got to be due for like a big game. What does he have, like 13 home runs in the season?
Something 10, like that, 10, decent 13. Average.
Decent average, but it's like, he's still not like that absolute like boom player he was a few years ago. So give me 2 home runs by him tonight. And I would say Musgrove goes maybe 7 1/3. Give it up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 11 Ks, no walks. Padres take it 5-1.
Love the pick, but I am surprised I was able to slip through the cracks in our pick draft here. Get the Yankees at 4.
No, that's fine. I don't want it.
Hosting Houston here, and Valdez.
They're hot right now.
Yeah, Valdez in the Astros. Well, they are hot. Valdez 2.78, but Tyone 8-1, 2.70, and obviously we know the machine that is the New York Yankees. 8 more wins currently than the Houston Astros, including a 29-7 mark at home, and just the resilience they've shown. And every time that we see the Yankees match up against the Astros, we saw it last year, which was really the first time, where we got the fans there, since the whole scandal came out and whatnot, and everybody was pumped up. There was a lot of electricity in the ballpark. I think we will see that again. We'll see the FL Tuve chants in the crowd, and I think Tyone is fired up. I'm going to say 6 strong, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned, 4 hits, 1 walk, and Stanton, he's due. He's been struggling a little bit. Runs, 4 hits for DJ LeMahieu. Time for him to pick it up. And Gleyber Torres gets in the mix as well with a solo shot. Yankees 8, Houston 4.
All right, dude. We'll see about that, Brian. But anyway, oh shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know what that is all about here.
I'll show you what it's all about, Brian.
You know what it's all about, Tony.
It's all about charging your laptop, dude.
Ah,
Son of a bitch.
preparation is key, Tony.
I know. I thought I plugged it in. Hold on, everyone relax. Yes. Let's go, dude. My crop top hoodie on.
I was gonna say, see a little bit of that shirt. I don't know.
It's a very short hoodie. You know,
All right.
What you want from me? Anywho, dude. I want to say this should be good in a hot second, but we'll see. Houston, are they Houston's at home?
Dude,
Houston's on the road. They're playing Yankee Stadium.
yeah.
You want to go, dude? You can't go.
NBA draft, Tony. Priorities.
Wow, that's a shame, Brian. Some fan, dude. Anyway, all right. So for my next pick, we're gonna go to Milwaukee. I think it is in Milwaukee. Yeah. Cardinals visiting Milwaukee. They just took the last two games against. I think it was it's a 4-game series. Milwaukee took the first game. Cardinals took the next two to tie and then take the lead in the NL Central. So they're now first in the NL Central. They've been doing really well, obviously. I think Goldschmidt and Arenado both homered last game, and then Gorman homered twice the game before that. So they had some nice power hitting by a few guys, which is great. And then I think that first game too, Wainwright, he lasted I think like 4 innings, gave him 5 earned runs. They pulled him out. Bullpen absolutely shut them down and gave the Cardinals the ability to kind of come back in that game and win it to take the lead in the NL. So you love to see that. And then we have Dakota Hudson on the mound, 3.3 ERA. He's 5-3 in the season. Obviously, a lot of his wins come from the offensive capabilities of St. Louis. And I just think that Milwaukee, with the gritty wins that St. Louis just had against them, I really can't see how Milwaukee wins it. I'd say it'd be close again. Give me the Cards, 5-4. Arenado hits the game-winning home run.
There we go. So I am gonna go to Oakland here. Robbie Ray, has been largely a disappointment since coming over from Toronto as a free agent. For Seattle, he's on the hill, 6-6, 4.25. Has pitched well though his last couple outings. Frankie Montas for Oakland, 3-7, 3.53. And while both teams not good, Oakland 14 under, Mariners 8. I do feel like Seattle is due for a little uptick here. And while I'm not expecting a playoff season, which will continue their drought to 21 seasons since that record 2001 season, which they were bounced out of the playoffs by your New York Yankees. But I just feel like tonight, Ray, he's gonna shut him down. I'm gonna say 7 innings. 12 strikeouts, 1 earned, 3-1 Mariners. Nice and easy for you, Tony.
Nice, dude. Real quick, couple comments before we get to my last pick. D's Nuts asks for your thoughts on Mad Dog Russo appearing on ESPN's First Take.
Yeah. I think that's great. Unfortunately, that's always on, during the workday, so I don't really get to see it. But it's funny. I know you would crack up about this, Tony. They were actually talking about it on the morning show, with Boomer and the fellas. And I guess it was either on that or on his radio show. He announced to everybody what they pay him per appearance to go on First Take.
Are you serious?
So for 40 appearances, he gets $400,000. So it's $10,000 per episode. And he announced it to everybody. And they're like,
what the
heck? You can't do that.
That's hilarious.
But then they were also saying, well, I think he just doesn't care. Obviously, he's been around a while, and it's like that show, of course, everybody's a little Stephen A. out.
Yeah.
So obviously bringing in Dog, I think the ratings have seen an uptick. So
absolutely.
It's something for everyone to talk about.
I don't know if you've seen any clips, but he calls him out on a lot of stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
He literally almost jumps out of his chair.
Yeah. We've talked about it a bunch of times, but clearly I think the best sports media personality of all time. And you don't see from the new age of radio hosts or TV hosts that type of juice that you get naturally out of Mad Dog. So that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
And D's Nuts also says, I'm going to Yankee
Yankee
Stadium
Stadium
tonight. Let's go. You're going to see a win and a couple Stanton home runs.
A couple Stanton home runs. All right, dude. Don't be disappointed.
What were you saying for fourth and final?
Fourth and final? My fourth and final. As much as I rag on him, I feel like he's going to get the dub tonight. White Sox playing Baltimore. Johnny Cueto on the mound for the White Sox. He's not terrible, obviously.
But Dean Kramer is.
Well, Dean Kramer, I think he's got like a 2.3 ERA, but he has like 15 innings pitched this season so far.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously not a whole lot of, assessments going on there. And I feel like who better to light him up than like Jose Abreu and Luis Robert. And who's their DH has been batting? Andrew Vaughn.
Yes.
He's been batting really well as also. So, and I think Cueto with against Baltimore, dude. I mean, give me 6 innings, 2 earned runs, maybe like 7 or 8 Ks, maybe 2 walks. But good outing for Cueto, good offense by them, and I would say White Sox take this one 4-2.
I like it. Fourth and final, Kyle Wright on the hill for Atlanta, hosting the San Francisco Giants.
What do you got?
Alex Wood on the hill for San Francisco. Braves, despite the Ozzie Albies injury, have been just playing well. I think Wright gives them a solid outing. 6 1/3, 8 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 walk. Ronald Acuna, 3 home runs tonight.
Wow.
Braves all over the Giants, 10-4.
10-4?
10-4.
All right, dude. We'll see.
And so that's what we got for baseball. We'll see what happens tonight.
We'll see what happens tonight.
But let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Oh.
In they come, Tampa, what a save by Vasilevsky! Are you kidding me?
McAvoy, Frederick, did you get the license plate number on that truck? McDavid, beautiful move.
You just knew that Connor McDavid was going to make a statement. What a goal.
All right, Tony. Here we are, Stanley Cup Finals, 4 games in, and after last night's 3-2 overtime victory, coming back for some deficits here, Colorado takes a commanding 3-1 lead as they head back to Colorado. Kadri with the game winner in overtime. Apparently some controversy about 7 men on the ice during the goal. John Cooper, pretty fired up after the game. What was your instant reaction to this one?
To the game or to the call?
Both.
Okay, so the game, I thought Tampa Bay was playing really well, honestly. I mean, hey, in regulation, you held Colorado to 2 goals.
That's a win every time.
That's a win every time, dude. Vasilevsky was key, and their defense was phenomenal. Any chance, which, they did a good job in trying to, hinder Colorado through the neutral zone, which is a very hard task for them. But then when Colorado, got some offense going, they were blocking passing lanes. They were diving to block shots. Their sticks were everywhere, Tampa Bay. It was actually really impressive how they their poke checks, they're using their stick to disturb the puck. It was really impressive. And then on top of that, you had some great offensive chances. And I think one thing that, people overlook is Darcy Kuemper, because he's not a phenomenal goalie, especially when you put him up against Vasilevsky. And you saw that in Hedman's goal, which was the second goal, I think, for Tampa Bay, to give them the lead at that time. I want to say maybe it was second period. But, it was Hedman just was skating like he does, heavy and pretty fast. And he just had some room over the right side, and he just kind of flipped a backhanded pass, and it got past Darcy, which is really like, a great shot by Hedman, but bad goal to give up for Darcy, especially obviously in this type of setting for the Stanley Cup final. But they need to continue. I think they had 39 shots on goal. Yeah, they had 39 shots on goal to Colorado's 37. They need to continue to just constantly, challenge Darcy in net. I mean, because that's going to happen again, where he gives up a goal where he probably really shouldn't have, especially when Tampa Bay is skating really well, and Colorado doesn't have their 4-goal lead to be sitting on. When it's a tight game, it seems like Darcy can crumble a little bit. It is ultimately unfortunate, obviously, the outcome, but Tampa Bay, where they've been struggling for a while now since the Rangers, their power play unit. They were 0 for 2 last night in the power play, and you just can't do that. Colorado isn't going to give you lots of chances. For 2 power plays, you have to convert on at least one of them. At least one. 50% on the power play is really what you should be looking for. And it's just, they just cannot. I don't know. I don't know if it's them being shaky or not, but it seems like they just have bad passes. They don't have good looks. Stamkos was whiffing on shots in the slot. I mean, that's Stamkos' role for the power plays. Get those one-timers in. That should be his bread and butter. Easy. He should be, licking his chops at that. And it's unfortunate they just really can't convert on the power play, because that would have swayed the game in their favor. That would have swayed probably the game 1 in their favor as well. But obviously, the past is the past. Can't think about that now. But I mean, losing another tough game in overtime against Colorado, it is a Stanley Cup deserving team that wins these gritty games, the overtime games. I know you could say, 1 goal, overtime, anything could happen. It could have been us. Yeah, it could have been you. Like, championship teams win that in overtime. That's what Colorado's doing right now. And it is unfortunate that there were definitely too many men on the ice during Kadri's goal. And it's like, there's some leeway, obviously, just because how quick, play goes. But I mean, I think there were 6 men on the ice.
And I mean,
but
any not to interrupt, but
right.
Any thought on your mind just from the fact that it was like, well, despite them having too many men on the ice, it didn't impact the play? That's what Boomer was saying.
It didn't, because Kadri was kind of on a breakaway. I think it was a one-on-one situation or whatever it was. But regardless, dude, I mean, like, rules are rules.
Right.
Like, the ref should know that and be like, hey, like, this play should be called dead because you have too many men on the ice.
Well, how come, like, I don't know how it works, but, like, after that play happened, how was that not, like, or are they not, unless it's challenged, they don't review it, or how does that work?
You can't challenge a no call.
Okay.
You can only challenge like a call. A bad call. You can't challenge a no call.
And there's nothing from like the headquarters calling it in to review it? Because I thought they do review overtime goals, no? Or it would just be on offsides? Is that
it would be the goal. If it was an offsides call, you can challenge the offsides call. But I mean, there was a no call.
Okay.
And it's one thing if the refs obviously didn't see it. Because if the refs see, like, hey, you know what, this guy might have been offsides, we'll review it. But I guess no one was looking for too many men on the ice. Bless you. Which is obviously really unfortunate, because that goal should have been called back. If I'm John Cooper, I'd be really tight.
Yeah.
Because that clearly at this point, every game Tampa Bay can get, they need. So
nail in the coffin?
No.
What are you forecasting the rest of the series?
I mean, I think realistically, Tampa Bay would win one more and then lose.
Yeah, I kind of thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, I think just realistically, what I would like to see is Tampa Bay just to
win in 7.
Yeah,
but it's just, I mean, you feel confident about a Game 5 victory? Just the fact that they're going back to Colorado. Obviously, the fans starving for a championship. Been 20 years. Just the fact that they don't just take care of business tomorrow night.
I think that Tampa Bay, I know they I forget who it was. I think it was Tony Cirelli who was talking about how crazy it is to play in Colorado because of their fans. Mm-hmm. And that's what he alluded to. Like, one of their, obviously playing at home helped them get that first W. But the way they've been playing against Colorado, it looks like almost an entirely different series these past 2 games. I mean, to win 6-2, and then obviously last night, but to hold them to 2 goals. I mean, 3 goals overtime, but 2 goals in regulation. They've adapted really well. I think John Cooper came with a game plan to stop Colorado, and they're doing that pretty well, and they're out shooting them, which, as I said, is I think a big part as to why they've been scoring so much as well. Obviously, should put more, whatever, but they've just been shooting anything at Darcy, which is what they need to do, and that's what they didn't do in the first 2 games, really. Like that first game and when that first overtime loss, they were way more selective with their shots. Their defense is pretty good, but then obviously second game, no defense at all, pretty much. But I think they made the necessary adjustments. John Cooper's a great coach. It's really hard to outcoach him, and you're seeing that now. And I do think that they're going to emphasize a lot more on creating those one-time opportunities for Stamkos, for Palat, for Kucherov, because that's one thing you don't see a lot. I mean, you see some phenomenal plays, some great passing, creating space, stuff like that. But, finding someone for a one-timer is one thing they haven't done. And I think you're going to see that more tomorrow. And I think they're going to win because of that.
Interesting. I guess we'll see, but I am expecting, Colorado, listen, after a shaky very beginning of the year, has really consistently been the best team in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting them to take care of business tomorrow, but I guess we'll wait and find out.
Yeah.
But it's been a great Stanley Cup playoffs. Obviously, it's hard.
Rangers,
No, I'm just saying if they were in the Cup now, I mean, just how much more juice this series would have. But,
oh, yeah, dude.
But hey, they're not. Gotta retool this offseason, and I think they will, and I think they'll be right back in the conversation next season.
We talk about Shesterkin winning the Vezina Trophy.
Yes, well deserving.
Well deserving, obviously. Love to see that from him. And he was, I don't know if you saw,
cheesing.
Yeah, he was cheesing, dude, with his accent.
He deserves it.
He does deserve it.
Job well
nice,
done,
dude.
ER.
Yeah.
Job well done. And first full year as a starter. I mean, sure not many people have won that trophy in that situation.
Yeah, correct.
And then other than that, Tony, just a couple other things here. One thing I should have mentioned at the top, and it just slipped my mind, is yesterday they announced Tony Siragusa passed away. You hear about that?
No.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, so he was the nose tackle on the 2000 Ravens, and he was a Fox sideline reporter. They called him Goose.
Oh,
big guy. Yeah,
okay.
only 55 years old. And I guess it's not confirmed. Suspicion of a heart attack, but obviously way too young, and a guy that everyone got to know well on the NFL broadcast as well as his playing career. So obviously, condolences to his family. And then Caleb Swanigan, also on the Portland Trail Blazers. I think he was a number 1 pick only 3 years ago, first round pick, passed away as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So that's sad. And then I think Jason Ferguson as well from the Ravens. So a bunch of all of a sudden these random deaths, and it just kind of really gives you a perspective about how precious and important every moment is. So of course prayers and condolences to all of their families. On a lighter note here, today is the first day of the Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut, and before we get to a leaderboard update there, one name who was projected to be in the field but pulled out on Tuesday, Brooks Koepka, Tony, joining the LIV Golf Tour, so becoming the latest big name to defect to the LIV Golf Tour. Obviously, has struggled with injuries the last couple of years after having that stretch where he won 4 major championships in 8 starts.
Right.
Does that one surprise you at all?
I guess not really. With the way, like you said, he's struggling.
Yeah.
He's going to go where the money is, I suppose, right now. So I would imagine. So this is one of the tournaments that overlap?
Not an overlap. I think there's an event next week, but it just.
So he wants to rest up.
And once you announce it, then, the PGA, disassociates themselves with you. So, but it, like you said, I mean, I think it just makes sense, just the fact that he's doing it for money, obviously, and the fact that he can't consistently win on the PGA Tour, this gives him an avenue to do so. Last place, you're still making, I think, $120,000 on this LIV Tour.
Do we know how much he's getting paid just to show up?
No, but it seems like everyone's like big names are getting like $100,000 just to sign up. $100 million.
I was gonna say $100 million, dude.
But it's crazy. You know, the PGA Tour's announced some high stake events they're going to start doing in the fall where there's bigger payouts. And there was some rumors that Colin Morikawa would make his way over there, but he has vehemently denied that starting back in February at the Genesis in LA and confirmed that the other day. So nice to see Colin there. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas. So, I mean, there's still plenty of big Jordan Spieth. There's still plenty of big names on the PGA Tour, but
the
division continues. And but the Open Championship next month, St. Andrews did announce that they are welcoming all golfers, regardless of associations, to the LIV. So we still will get the big names next month, and then the Masters in April. That'll be the big test of, you know, are they going to bar these guys? Are they going to be welcomed? I kind of think that they're going to continuing to be able to play. What's your prediction on that? You know, come April, do you think, you know, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, those guys are going to be welcomed at the Masters?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And do you think this is a permanent thing? Or
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
like never Phil done?
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of makes me sad a little bit.
It does make you a little sad. It's actually funny. I was just watching this video that came up on my Facebook, like of Phil teaching how to like hit off of a bunker, but to hit it like behind you.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. And it was funny because he was like standing there talking, he had all the KPMG stuff on. I'm like, wow, dude, like what such a fall from grace for him.
Yeah.
You know, like holy shit. But yeah, I feel like the PGA is tight, and I feel like they're gonna wait out this Live Tour thing. Like it's not gonna last forever.
Well, but that's what I mean. So let's say that, you know, the Live strokes within 2 years. I mean, are these guys welcomed back on the PGA Tour?
Oh, like after it folds?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
But you think the commissioner's gonna be like,
nah,
you better say you're sorry?
Yeah. I think there'll be some type of reprimand for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, how dare you?
Yeah. Freaking Greg Norman. I mean, he really is a shark.
Yeah.
But that's all I got, Tony. And like I said, that tournament did start this morning. Right now, your current leaders. Shyster. Shyster, yeah. Xander Schauffele tied with Martin Lard at 6 under par.
Martin Lard.
Cam Davis, Chuck Howell III, Rory McIlroy.
How you doing?
As well as Webb Simpson and Matthew Neesmith, one shot back at 5 under. So a lot of big names, obviously, you know, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Fairfield's own JJ Henry in the field as well. 16 holes through, he's even par, so, you know, decent shot to make the cut here. Harold Varner III, one of your personal favorites, 3 over through 13. Jason Day as well. So despite, you know, some names pulling out, Justin Thomas, non-live related, pulled out with a back injury. So still have a lot of talent here. Going to be interested to see what transpires. But, you know, he's 2 shots back currently, as actually Schauffele has moved into the solo lead now through 15 at 7 under. Rory McIlroy, I just have a sense, I have a feel he's due for another victory here. He's fired up, and he's saying we're staying on the PGA.
Who's favored to win? Is he?
I mean, it was him. It was probably Schauffele as well. So Scotty Scheffler too. I mean, world number 1. I mean, you're always going to be near the top of the leaderboard. But that's all I got. Other than we got to schedule our golf outing within the next month. Can we get on the course next month?
Let's go tomorrow.
You always have to do that. Yankee game tonight, golf tomorrow. Within the next month, Tony.
How tight would you be if we went to the Yankee game tonight and we went
to golf tomorrow? Well, I would say enjoy, but, you know, of course, I'll be missing out. But hey, that's all we got, Tony, right? I mean, anything else you have for the fans out there?
On the way out, this Saturday night, 7:30, Beacon Theater, Minds Festival. Free tickets, dude. Just go to it. It's going to be a great time. Full bar, food, open forum. Come and go as you please at the historic Beacon Theater, opened in 1929, Barnes.
And you know what's very convenient for the fans out there? Yankee game, 105. Make your way over to Beacon after the game.
There we go, dude. It's right there.
Why not? There we go. All right. So.
Wow, you really put the. There we go.
The soundbite is in. But once again, there we go. A great great show and good to be back with all of you. And we want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Obviously, the archives, Tony, costumes, Salem, Tony in costume, the summer collection.
It is summer
officially
now,
not
by the way.
So we got to change that soundbite up.
I know.
Summer collection available, downtimetv.com. But everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.